All right. I love the waiting time for the stupid thing to go live. All right, welcome to Keyboard Warriors. This is episode 12. It is February 24th, I believe. I fucking lost count of days. In fact, every single day this month has been a goddamn blur. Um, with us today, no Nick Pilecki. He's working and sticking his finger up his ass, and Justin Huffman doesn't feel that good today, so they're gonna be absent today unless Nick somehow video calls us again, or you guys, because I didn't get that call, and fucking gets on the show somehow. So with us today, we have Fred Kirby from Gem City Fighting. What's up, dude?
Yo, what's happening, fellas?
And from Stand and Bang Radio, Aaron Robbins, man. Of course, sometimes I wish we started fucking broadcasting the shit before we actually start broadcasting. Because if you guys haven't heard, don't know Aaron, or don't talk to Aaron, I guess personally, he's a hilarious fucking dude. What's up, man?
Nothing. I was almost going to do the best MMA show around the world
Oh,
thing,
no, dude.
but I didn't want you to bust your shit.
I would have signed this thing shut and be like, it's over, we're done.
That's it. Show's out. Peace out.
Anyway.
Show's done. No, thanks for having me on the show. I want to send, before we get started, I want to say thank you to Fred Kirby for joining my show, Stand and Bang, last night with Eddie Truck Gordon. You brought that low baritone voice to the show and added a lot of good content. So, Fred, thank you for saving my keister on what was technically a nightmare of a show.
No problem, man. I had a great time. It was awesome.
What was the count on the mention of the word Jack?
One. I think
Yeah.
he got out Jack, I think, one time, but he did get out a Kumbaya, which I love.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
I had to watch it. There was no cursing. No cursing.
No cursing. I actually cursed more than you did on the show. And you said something about Pat Zingano and Misha Tate that I want to add to my vernacular. You said something about she was low-key styling or something. God, get the fuck out of here. My cat's going nuts. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
What did you say about her? She was doing something. I don't know, man.
No, Misha Tate. Misha Tate, she was. Misha Tate was low-key styling on Kat Zingano before she took that beat down.
No, man. There is definitely some terms in Fred's vernacular that are awesome, and you're only going to get it from a guy in Ohio, because he also says fighting. There's no T in the word fighting. It's fighting. That is 100% Ohio. And then when we don't agree, he's like, oh, man, there's the end of the kumbaya. I was like, yeah, we got a Jack, we got a kumbaya and low-key styling. Because I'd never get away, unless I'm on this show. If you guys heard that come out of me on my show, you'd be like, nah, man, he's just copying Fred. What a prick.
You know what? I was fucking. What was it? I was playing basketball just a couple days ago, and I let out a Jack. It was fucking hilarious. I fucking hit the game winner. We were playing the 12, and I hit the game winner, and I go, "That's it, Jack. I'm out of here." And fucking, I didn't realize what I said till I got in the car and I was looking on Twitter, and Fred actually retweeted some shit that I put out there, and I go, "Jack, oh shit, hey, this motherfucker's just rubbing off on people. What the hell?" So that
feels good, man. Feels good. Emphasizes your point.
I got my favorite instance. Now, Eddie, I know you're a bunch younger than me. Fred, how old are you?
I'm 30.
All right, so you're a bunch younger than me, too. Have you ever watched the 1989 Batman?
Yeah.
The original?
I haven't. No.
Oh, man, you got to watch that, because that is the best instance of the word Jack, because it's actually Jack Nicholson, and he's like, you ain't got no future, Jack. And that's why I've always loved him. I'm a comic book geek, and so when he's like, yeah, Jack, I was like, yes, that is the shit.
Perfect.
But I'm not cool enough to get away with saying it.
That's all good. At this point, anyone can say it, but no one says it like Fred does. This is the thing. Like, whenever I hear the word, like, anyone say Jack, I almost like turn around and see if Fred just somehow made it to fucking Arizona, because he goddamn sense. Like, there's no way, no one else says that shit. So.
Oh man, I wish. Arizona right now sounds fucking awesome.
Oh, it's fucking awesome out here. It was actually kind of warm today, and yeah, to the chagrin of a lot of people. I put that on I think on Twitter a couple of days ago, and people were just like, oh, whatever. And I'm like, hey, I didn't choose to live. It's not my fault. You chose to live in Boston, okay? No one told your ass to stay over there. You should pack up your teepee and move west. That's all I'm saying. So. All right, so this last weekend, that was actually a Sunday card, UFC Fight Night, Bigfoot versus Frank Mir. Overall, look, it was like the card of upsets, right? Like, no, barely any of the favorites won. We were actually talking about it back and forth on Twitter. And this, starting off with the first fight of the night on UFC Fight Pass, the only one on Fight Pass, because I think it was goddamn, what was it? Which fight didn't go on? Because someone fucking fainted. I can't remember who it was.
You know why? Because the fight wasn't important.
Exactly. So let's move on. So then, Ivan George against Josh Shockley. George gets that win via decision. It wasn't that impressive of a fight, honestly, but Shockley's just a weird-looking hippie motherfucker. But you guys want to talk about that at all, or should we just move on?
No.
Yeah, we can push through all that shit.
All right, then let's see. Douglas Silva de Andrade, whatever, defeats Cody Gibson via decision. And then Mike De La Torre knocked out Thiago Trader, which is weird, because I didn't think De La Torre had knockout power, but that's one of the upsets of the night for sure. And then Matt Dwyer gets the knockout against Patolino. What do you guys think of that fight?
Man, I don't even remember. Hey, put that shit up. I need face recognition. Put that shit card up so I can see who the hell you're talking about.
All right, give me a second here. But Fred, did you see that fight?
Isn't Dwyer super tall?
What's that?
Dwyer's super tall, right?
I don't know. What does it say on there?
Oh no, man! You're talking about that. You're talking about he touched him on the ear with a Superman punch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I heard about that. I didn't see most of the prelims, but I heard about them.
I'm telling you what, man, that was really strange because, like, sometimes you'll catch something live and it doesn't look like it landed, and then they slow it down on super slow-mo and you can kind of see the concussive force go through the person. This is not one of those, man. If he seriously must have hit him with about, like, 30 pounds of pressure because his arm barely made it there, but it was right on the ear and the temple. And, man, William, what's his last name?
Macarillo, something like that.
Macarillo, enchilada. Yeah, man. He just started. He started walking in potholes. Yeah, that joke was from last night, and we had to cut that out of the show, Fred. I'm sorry about that. I had to lose like 8 minutes. But did you guys hear? Who was it last night? It was Dave and who were the announcers last night, guys?
Anik, was it Anik and Kempflo?
Yeah, Anik. No, it was Anik and I Finished Fights. What's his name?
Kenflo.
Yeah.
Kenflo. Yeah. Oh, Kenflo. That's what you call him. Yeah, Kenny Florian. Yeah. But they were going out with names like Fiera and Akinhera and stuff like that. Man, stop doing that shit. Don't do that. It's ridiculous. That would be like me, like I told him last night. That would be like me rolling up on Taco Bell and being like, I would like a burrito and an enchilada. It's cool if you're that ethnicity, but if you are as white as a fucking bleached sheet, then just say it like everybody else does, and just stop doing that shit. Because you're gonna do that for like Italian last names and Brazilian last names and Spanish last names and Russian last names. You know, nobody ever says Kobilo. You know what I mean? It's fucking ridiculous. Knock that shit off.
Oh shit! All right, well, and just fucking move on. The one women's fight, Jessica Andrade against Marion Reneau. Andrade came out like a freaking monster, and Marion catches her in a submission. Anyone here surprised about that fight? Because I was surprised as fuck.
Go ahead, Fred.
Yeah. I was totally surprised with this fight, man. I thought Andrade was going to come out. I mean, if we'd have done predictions, I would have predicted Andrade to win that fight, and she got. You know what I was kind of surprised with was how easy Reneau was able to throw that triangle on her. It seemed like as soon as they hit the ground, man, she just grabbed her head. It was like, BJJ 101. She threw that triangle on easy as fuck, and before you know it, it was fucking over, Jack. So,
see,
yeah.
And I agree with Fred on that one. And I did pick Andrade. I was over on the Hammer MMA doing some predictions, and we did abysmal, just bad. But I mean, when 10 underdogs win, you're not going to do good.
Right.
But Andrade was talking shit to Reneau, how Reneau's brown belt wasn't worth Andrade's blue belt or purple belt, because Andrade is actually Brazilian and Renaud got her belt from America, and then ends up in like what Fred said, like the first day they teach you the triangle choke from your back. I mean, she just kind of was like, okay, go ahead and grab me in this, not once, but twice, because she actually escaped from the first attempt and then fell right into an even tighter attempt.
Yeah, it was. I was surprised as fuck, man. I was sitting there going, "Oh well, Andrade she's Brazilian. She's gonna get the fuck out of that thing, no problem, right?" And when she tapped, I was like, "No way! Isn't there like an unwritten rule that you should just go out on your shield at that point? If you've been talking all that shit all week long, or the entire fucking camp, you were talking all that shit. You should just go to sleep, right?"
Not me, man. I'm tapping like a 12-year-old girl.
I don't think you'd be talking shit from the get-go, though.
Right, exactly. I forgot. That was a great point. I forgot that she said that shit about the belts. That is what you get for running that mouth. Like, that's what you get. You got caught in a sloppy-ass triangle. Like, that's what you get for talking shit.
Exactly. So that.
I did like the fact that Dana White apologized to Marion Renaud for not letting her on the Ultimate Fighter, and then you got to give props to Renaud for staying classy. She said no apology necessary. It wasn't my time then, it is my time now. So, hats off to, I guess, everybody involved, man. There's a lot of politeness that we're going around.
I wanted to add, I don't know if you guys had heard this. Did you know that I think she's an active physical education teacher still?
No idea.
Yep, man.
I think.
That doesn't surprise me, man. Aljamain Sterling is a part-time teacher as well.
That's pretty fucking badass, man. That's pretty cool.
If you go onto his Facebook feed, you'll actually see him working out with his athletes, like doing pull-ups and different like calisthenics and stuff like that. And he's always got his students around him doing stuff.
Badass, man. All right, so then, this was the headliner for the Fox Sports 1 prelims. Then in the Fox Sports 1 main card, started off with Ponzinibbio winning a decision against Sean Strickland. This was, I believe, I don't know, nobody thought Strickland lost his fight, right? Am I right?
No, man, I thought he lost it.
You think he lost it? Because which fight was it that it was like a huge, like, what the fuck decision?
No, that wasn't that in the early prelims.
Oh, no, I'm thinking it was maybe.
Yeah, go back. Hold on. No, I thought. I don't know, man. I didn't really see the Brazilian curse on this card too much. No, man. I thought Ponzinibbio handled his business. Problem with Sean Strickland is he forgot that he had legs.
That's true.
If you watch that fight again.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think he might throw one lazy inside leg kick. And then like a couple of like really lazy, like those Steven Seagal at your face kicks and then like a couple push kicks. But I mean, he didn't, it was like a boxing match for him. And I don't know, man. I don't think that he got like, I don't think that he got beat really badly, but I think that something took him out of his game plan.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty close fight. One of those fights that was kind of back and forth, and I wouldn't have been too salty one way or the other. I think I gave it to Strickland that night, but it was a close fight. It wouldn't have been a robbery one way or the other for me.
No, you know what? I just went back on my Twitter feed, Eddie, and you're right. I think a lot of people were crying foul on that one.
Yeah, because that's what I felt. I thought Strickland won that fight, and so, that's exactly what I started saying. Like, in Brazil, you can't fucking leave it to the judges. You got to finish that fight if you're an American. And a lot of people were actually going on Twitter saying, like, if I was in the UFC, I would refuse to fight in Brazil. First of all, no, you wouldn't. And second of all, if you go to Brazil, you better finish, man, because otherwise you're leaving it up to the Brazilians. And, I'm not talking about shit about the Brazilian people. I'm talking shit about the Brazilian judges. They're just dog shit overall. For the most part, just like you were talking about the Brazilian curse, it's fucking really shit. All right, so then in the next fight, Yuri Alcantara loses to Frankie Sayans. I don't know how the fuck. It's like the fucking battle of last names is goddamn weak. So
I think it's Alcantara.
Alcantara and Sayans. So Sayans ends up winning via decision, pretty handily too. 122 strikes on against 49, 44 significant against 31, and 3-2 takedowns. overall, pretty fucking solid fight for Frankie. Definitely not what I thought was coming. And Alcantara is probably going to be out of the top 10 for this loss. Anything you guys want to talk about in this one?
I think it comes down to Sainz or Signs. I think it is Signs overperformed, and Alcantara felt pressure like he hadn't before and just folded. I think that was the case of the fight.
You know, this fight was weird, man. I might catch a little bit of shit for making this comparison, but I don't really give a fuck. It almost kind of struck me as, you know, Chael Sonnen versus Anderson Silva 1, you know, without all the steroids and the messy negativeness of it. It felt like Frankie Saenz was really controlling the wrestling and the grappling part of it, and it felt like when they would get up, Alcantara would land a really big shot once in a while, except he just didn't pull off the Hail Mary and get the submission. He was always active with the submissions. He was throwing some hard strikes, but you know, credit to Frankie Saenz, he just walked through them and got the takedown and was just outworking Alcantara. Alcantara looked okay. He still showed some signs of those flashy strikes that he likes and shit, but you know, like old Kim Flo was, or one of the broadcasters was saying, you can't win fights laying on your back. If you catch a submission, you can, but you can't just lay there and kill minutes off the round, man, and then get up and throw a couple fancy kicks. Like, that loses you
You know what?
fights.
Before I lose my train of thought, there was some stupid shit said. I believe it was by Kenny Florian last night, too. He said two stupid things. In a fight card where there was already a triangle choke finish, he goes, it is nearly impossible to get a submission off your back. And I'm like, nearly impossible? How often per year do we see a fucking armbar get set up from the back or a triangle choke? And then he said, you know what else you don't see very often in MMA? Body kicks.
Oh, come on.
What? Sometimes I wonder, man, if the heat just kind of gets to these guys. But the other thing, like what Fred said, was impressive, and it's impressive in the Saenz fight and in the Strickland fight. Man, those guys walked through strikes that should have at least wobbled them. I was very impressed with Sean Strickland because that boy got hit with a couple of head kicks and bounced right up on the balls of his feet. Like, man, didn't even wobble him a little bit.
Yeah, overall fucking solid ass fight and a big win for Frankie Saenz right there. And then this next fight is when I actually have my nephew with me, and so I didn't get to watch nearly even like 5 minutes of this fucking fight right here. But I'm kind of disappointed in Kapilov losing against Adriano Martins. I thought Kapilov should have been able to I don't know, dominate. I thought he was going to dominate this fight and win it, but Martins gets a decision win. You guys watched this fight. I didn't get to see it. What do you guys think of it?
Garbage.
So I didn't miss anything. That's good.
You know what? All right, guys. I do want you to do me a quick favor if you get a chance. I can't remember what round it is, but I think it's one of the earlier rounds, either the first or the second. Kapilov touches his shoulder, kind of pushes on it, and then stretches his arms back. I honestly believe the reason why he performed so poorly is that he did something to his shoulder in the early rounds.
It was very possible. I mean, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it because now I want to know if it's, I want to see that now for myself. But I mean, it's very possible. A lot of these guys end up fighting, injured, and the Russians are fucking tough motherfuckers. They're not gonna be like, I'm a stupid shoulder. I'm not gonna fucking, withdraw or not withdraw. I'm not gonna fucking quit the fight just because I hurt myself. But was it really that bad of a fight though, for real?
It was kind of bad, man. It was not a great fight. Khabibulov, that would make a lot of sense, Aaron, because Khabibulov did look a little weird, man. He didn't look his usual natural self. I know he likes to kind of revert to his grappling base a little bit sometimes in fights, and it didn't seem like he could get that going. So I guess at the time of the fight, I kind of just chalked up his inactivity, so to speak. It wasn't like Martins was really doing a whole lot himself either, although he did land a really big punch at the end of round 2 that dropped Khabibulov, and I think that kind of won him that round in a mostly uneventful round from what I can remember. And I guess uneventful would pretty much be the word for this fight. It wasn't that the fight sucked. It's just one of those fights where nothing really fucking happened. Nobody was ever put in any extreme immediate danger or anything. It was just a very anticlimactic fight overall. So, I mean, Khabibulov lost, but it ain't like Martins came out and fucking starched him or no shit like that. So,
Right.
kind of, eh.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
glad I did. What's up?
definitely mad. But if you guys can get a feed or something, check out that shoulder maneuver he does, and then get
Yeah.
back to me on my feed or something, and tell me if you agree. Because sometimes, man, I'll be watching fights, and you see that they hurt their right hand or their left hand, or you see that they ding their shin, or in this case, I think he might have fucked up his collarbone or AC or something like that, and then they just don't look like they don't look like themselves because they know they're injured.
Right. All right. Well, then that one was garbage. I'm glad I didn't watch it. So the next one was not garbage. The next one was actually quite goddamn awesome. Cesar Mutante Ferreira taking on Smiling Sam Alvey. They're not kidding. This fucking bastard smiles for anything, for any reason. He gets punched in the face, big old smile on his face. All right. What the fuck happened? Cesar Ferreira is supposed to be Vitor's protege. Might be on, he looks like a younger Vitor with a more jacked up face probably, but at the same time, Alvey ends up knocking him out. I mean, I was surprised as fuck. Fred, what'd you think of this shit, man?
Yo, I'm glad to be on the Warriors tonight because I gotta say, I love Sam Alvey and I am so not fighter bashing the guy, but his fucking grin was the most annoying thing in the world to look at. That fucking guy with that fucking smile and grin, he just wouldn't stop smiling. He looked totally fucking insane. Like American Psycho fucking 101, man. He looked nuts as fuck. But as far as his performance goes, the guy threw fucking 4 strikes, right?
Yeah.
One of them fucking starched and snuffed out fucking Vitor's protege. So what the fuck do I know about it? Maybe all that smiling gives him some kind of superhuman powers. He had his fucking America's Next Top Model wife and a guy who looks like he just took a fucking swim in an Olympic pool with him in his corner. I mean, fuck do I know? He's smiling. He's got the craziest corner in the world. And he comes out, throws like fucking 2 punches, and starches a major favorite in Brazil. It was fun as fuck and incredibly insane all at the same time, man. But good on him, man. Good performance, and he's interesting. So I like it.
Yeah, Aaron?
Yeah, for sure. Every chance I get, I've kind of made fun of Sam Alvey. But, besides his wife, by the way, take a good look at her. She looks like Aisling Daisley if Aisling Daisley ever decided to cut weight for a fight.
And actually make it. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Now, and then his other I want to know what kind of camp this guy gets together. He's got this overweight, sweaty psycho staring into the camera during his whole after-fight speech. And he's got his America's Next Top Model wife holding the spit bucket. He throws 2 punches a fight and wins. But he's entertaining, and you gotta kind of wonder, man. Seriously, like in all seriousness, how hard does that motherfucker hit? Because he doesn't look like much. Like he's a little soft in the middle, and he's always got that smile on, and he doesn't got a lot of muscle tone. He doesn't look that fast, and he doesn't look that skilled. But one shot, and how many times have we seen it now from Alvey?
Yeah.
Damn, just asleep. So that I guess he's just the definition of just like a heavy-handed guy. So from now on, man, I just gotta say, man, I'm guessing that if he puts his knuckles on your chin, you go to sleep. That's just his thing, man. It's probably why he's always smiling, because the fucker hasn't lost too many fights. And talk all the smack he wants and smile like a psycho, and if you open your mouth, he'll break your face.
Yeah, and the thing about Alvey too. Well, not the thing about Alvey. Cesar, he trains with Vitor, like I mentioned a second ago. But they actually were talking about how that dude spars like hard. So I'm wondering if maybe he's been knocked out so many times in training, and he's actually been knocked out in fights before. I forgot who he lost to by knockout bout. But his chin's already questionable as fuck. And then, standing and trading with Sam Alvey. Alvey used to be I think he was in the Ultimate Fighter at some point, and he was actually known as a bit of a quitter in the Ultimate Fighter house. So it's just, no, it was a Carwin. I think he was Carwin's first pick. I think.
Dude, he got in the house by fucking starching somebody like that.
Yeah, he got in. He was a first pick and everything, and then he ended up being a bit of a quitter during the fucking show.
Yeah, I think Dana White said that was like one of the most devastating knockouts in the Ultimate Fighter history.
Yeah.
When he starched the guy to get into the house.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, look, man, I'm happy for him. I'm happy to see him, come in there. I'm happy to see a smiling bastard with a freaking, like you said, fucking the America's Next Top Model wife. Good for him. And he's a happy, smiling dude. I'm just waiting to see how many of those teeth he ends up losing next time when he actually faces a real killer with a chin that's not gonna just, fall down and pass out because he gets punched in the chin.
Yeah. Now wait 2 years from now when fucking Smiling Sam is the champion of the division. We'll all be looking like fucking idiots.
I will gladly look like a fucking idiot if that actually happens. That would be fucking great. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the co-main event, which ended up being an awesome fight, in my opinion. Edson Barbosa losing to Michael Johnson via decision. Michael Johnson coming off a very, very long layoff due to, I believe, he had some kind of fucking injury. I forgot what it was. But he ends up defeating Barbosa via decision. This was a fun fucking fight, dude. This was going back and forth. Maybe we might have gone to the ground a couple times, not much. They stood for a majority of the fight. Let's start with Aaron. What'd you think of this one, dude?
Well, I'm seeing your picture right now. This is your internet feed, right?
Yeah.
Why do you have Grindr on your top bar there, buddy? What's going on with Grindr?
Where's Grindr?
Nah, I'm fucking with you, man. Don't you?
Dude. I was like, who the fuck hacked me?
He's like, who it is? Motherfucker.
The guy. I bet you know what? I bet probably that motherfucker from around the world probably heard this fucking shit and decided, all right, I'm gonna fucking hack this bastard. Bullshit.
All right. I'm sorry, man. I couldn't help myself. All right, this is what I thought about the fight. And I don't want to steal Fred's thunder because I know that he's going to say about the same thing. Michael Johnson looked great, man. His boxing skills were on point, and he did exactly what he had to do to take out Edson Barbosa, which was pressure him. And then on Edson Barbosa's side, I liked it because we saw Edson Barbosa get hit and not fall down and not get knocked out. And so, there's some guys where I don't know what it is, man. You get hit like that Superman punch earlier on in the card. Sometimes it's the right placement. It's not that you got a weak chin or that you're susceptible. Sometimes guys just catch you in that right spot. I'm trying to think of the fighter's name. I think this was back in Bellator. I think his last name was Etienne. Mm-hmm. Or was that WEC? And he was a larger African American guy. And he looked like a world beater right up until the first guy hit him like right about here on the dome piece. And he went to sleep real quick. And then like every fighter that hit him on the top of the head knocked him out. And so I just think that maybe some people just got that spot. But I thought it was entertaining as hell. Good fight.
Brett?
Yeah. I mean, it kind of, exactly what Aaron said. I thought it was a great fight. I was totally impressed with Michael Johnson's boxing. His boxing, it looked on point. His hands looked fast and fucking accurate. He looked aggressive. The only thing I will say a bit different is Michael Johnson is kind of surprising to me, man. I never really know what to expect from him. Doesn't he got a loss to somebody kind of surprising or something? He took a speed bump somewhere to somebody, I think, man.
Michael Johnson?
And, yeah.
Huh.
Because if not, he should be like fighting for the title or something. He was on a roll, and then he lost to somebody, man. It seems like he tends to get tentative or something in certain fights, man. I don't know. Because I was surprised. I didn't really expect that to happen. I thought Edson Barbosa would kind of control the striking. And quite frankly, Edson Barbosa just flat got outboxed and almost out, aggressive. Michael Johnson was just way more aggressive. He was on the offensive more. He was throwing them hands more. He kept Edson backing up a lot more during the fight. And he didn't even really revert to using his wrestling. He just straight out boxed him. So I was super impressed. But the thing about it that makes it odd is you would think after a performance like that I would be super high on Michael Johnson and kind of like, let's give him a contender and see what's up. But like I said, it seems like he's got a loss to somebody that still gives me pause for some reason. For some reason, I'm just still not sold on Michael Johnson.
I mean, looking at his resume right here, he has wins over Tony Ferguson, a win over Danny Castillo, then a loss to Miles Jury, and I think this is what you're talking about. a loss to Reza Madadi
Yeah.
in April of 2013, and then he fucking has 4 in a row wins over Joe Lozon, Gleason Tebow, Melvin Gillard, and Edson Barbosa. That's a fucking resume for a title fight, in my opinion.
No.
It was Miles
Come on.
George.
No way. You got to throw Gleason Tebow and Melvin Gillard out of the mix.
Why?
Why? Have you watched Melvin Gillard fight in the last 4 years?
You're right. But still, it's a name, dude. In this game, they don't give a fuck. It's about names as far as some of the fans go. Look, I'm completely with you on that, all right? Melvin Gillard, you're right. The last 4 years hasn't been impressive whatsoever, but it's the name that he has on that resume, and no one's going to remember the actual fight, or very few of us are going to remember the actual fight.
Listen. Give him Ben Henderson. Give him Ben Henderson. Give him a big fight. Give him a big fight at 55. But he still needs to, he still needs to prove that he can come out there and put that kind of performance on against an absolute top 3, top 2-3 guy, and then he deserves the shot.
I think he just has that syndrome, Fred. Like there's just some guys that just perpetually fly under even hardcore fans' radars. Like he'll sneak up on you and you're like, what? He's on a 5-fight winning streak? Who'd he beat? And then you look at the 5-fight winning streak and it's not bad. I mean, he was actually beating guys that are quality, but he's just got that kind of personality and the performance is where I think he just kind of flies under our radar is what it is. So you're right. Give him a high-profile fight and see what he does.
Oh, I love that Ben Henderson fight. If that actually happens, that would be fucking badass. And it'd be great for Johnson, and it'd be good for Henderson if he wins because he stops someone else's streak and possibly gets himself back into title contention. Although people are calling for him to stay at 170, I don't buy it, but that's just what people keep saying because he looks so good against Brandon Thatch, who by the way hasn't fought in fucking forever. So it's not like you were expecting a world-class performance out of Brandon either. So yeah, you're right. You give him a Benson Henderson and see what he can do. And if Benson Henderson wins, start talking about possibly doing another title fight for Benson. And then of course the main event, which surprised a lot of people. It surprised me in the way it ended, not really in who won because I actually called the winner. But Frank Mir knocks Antonio Silva out. And before we get to the actual knockout, I thought Antonio Silva looked like complete shit physically. If you look at a picture of him, before the TRT ban and a picture of him on Sunday, he looks like a dying, sickly man with AIDS. It just looks fucking horrible. And so, you start to wonder, Antonio Silva being one of those guys that people actually argued needs TRT to, for the quality of life. Frank Mir saying that he didn't need TRT. He just needed to change his workout regimen and all that stuff, and maybe take a break. I guess to start with Fred here, what do you think of this fight?
Yeah, I mean, okay, just to touch on what you was talking about right there. Sometimes shit is just kind of goofy and silly. You know what I mean? Like people talking about weed being a performance enhancer. It's silly talk. I think a fucking jerk off could look at Antonio Silva and say that there's something a little wrong with this guy. You know what I mean? No fucking disrespect, but I think he's one of the probably very, very few people in MMA that actually needs TRT. So I mean, clearly, look at the fucking guy. He did look like shit. Frank Mir, Chael Sonnen, and the rest of them with all their horseshit excuses on why they didn't need it, cleaning up their diet and whatnot. Like, come on, man, that's some bullshit. But I think dude clearly kind of does fucking need it, man, and he should get an exemption. Look at him. That being said, as far as the actual fight goes, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, I wanted Frank Mir to win. I guess if I would have had to bet my life on it, though, I probably would have went the other way and assumed that Bigfoot would have won by strikes. I wanted to see Frank Mir win by vintage fucking Frank Mir submission. I would have loved to see him fucking get a brutal submission. But, a knockout like that and those fucking elbows at the end, that shit, if there wouldn't have been a rep there, he would have fucking killed Bigfoot with those elbows. I mean, them were some of the nastiest fucking elbows I've seen in quite a while. I think the last one even opened up his fucking cheek a little bit. Like, Frank looked great. He dropped him with a fucking jab. I almost wish that Frank had looked so fucking good because now, fucking Frank's back, Jack. He's gonna fucking go on another run, and he's eventually gonna go out there and get hurt and trounced by some, a top tier heavyweight. But he looked fucking great in this fight, man. You can't take that away from him, and another devastating first round finish. So yeah, go fucking Frank, man.
Yeah, his boxing super improved. He actually switched stances a couple times, used the jab really fucking well. I was impressed as fuck with this striking. He has a new coach. It's like he's redone his entire life. What's up?
I just want to add that Frank's boxing did look good, but let's just state for the record that Antonio Bigfoot Silva's head movement is fucking atrocious. So now people are going to go crazy about how good Frank Mir's boxing looked, and it looked good. But keep in context, he was fighting a post-TRT fucking Bigfoot Silva who has horrible head movement. So I just wanted to get that out there real quick.
Oh yeah, that's a really good point. I gotta go do something real quick. I just gotta open the door for somebody, and I'll be back in like 5 seconds. But Aaron, go ahead with what do you think of the fight?
All right, yeah, go do your thing. I'll talk.
You know what's gonna happen? I bet I come back to this shit to like later on to fucking edit the audio, or whatever, and I'm just gonna hear a bunch of shit talked about me, fucking grinder bastard. I'll be right back.
No, man, I wouldn't do that to you. No, man, Fred, I gotta just echo what you said. Now, and then the other thing is this: like, they've already said no exceptions to TRT. So to me, that makes me kind of wonder if he needs it, and there's no exceptions. That's a catch-22. That means your career is done. Because like everybody's up on Frank, and I like Frank Mir. I thought he looked good on his feet. He was in the traditional stance rather than the southpaw stance. And did his boxing look good? Yes. But my boxing would look good too if you got a man off of his deathbed dying of cancer, and I tuned him up. And it's not like I would turn to the camera and be like, "Oh, I'm back. I'm back." Do you know what I mean? Because
No.
Okay,
Exactly.
fine, that's awesome. But you just beat the shit out of a sick old man is what happened, because, like, fuck, he even lumbered his way to the cage. Like, that walkout was painful. Like, to me, Bigfoot Silva looked like he was uncomfortable even walking to the cage. That was the least amount of energy and the slowest pace I've ever seen a fighter walk out to the cage. And then, not only that, but I think that because they had him off TRT, and I mentioned this on Twitter, and I'm a strong proponent of this. Did you check out the acne on his back?
Yeah. That was I had seen a few people mention that shit on Twitter.
Man, that usually, like, if you got bad acne on your chest and your back, that means you're doing something. That's a pretty telltale sign that they had him crutching along with something in his system. Now, of course, since he got dinged by a fucking jab left hook lead, which, I mean, that's not a knockout punch, jab and a quick left hook lead. I mean, and he fell like a ton of bricks. Did you hear him when he hit that canvas?
Yeah.
It was like, whoa. He didn't even try to stop himself from falling. So, you know what I think it is? My hat's off to Frank Mir for figuring it out. Take a year off. That's awesome. You're a family man. Don't get hurt. That's great. But I don't think this is the fight where everybody should get back up on Frank Mir and say, yeah, he's going to make another run for it, or he's ever going to be in contention again. Because what you saw is a great Frank Mir up against the worst Antonio Silva ever. You know what I mean? So you got to compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges. So did Frank really look that good, or did Bigfoot just look that bad?
Exactly. I completely agree. Here's the only fight I would like to see Frank Mir in is a trilogy with Brock Lesnar. If they bring that dude back, I'd like to see him and Frank get after it, because it's not a major fucking if Brock can come out and win, it gives him a springboard, a big name, and if Frank can fucking win, we don't need Brock back anyway. So if he comes back and loses, it's not detrimental. Frank can retire on a major loss. It's a big fight. Like, if he's going to fight, I want to see him fight somebody like that. I don't want to see Frank Mir fight Travis Brown. or some fucking young contender that's going to throw a vicious beating on him. We've seen that before. He's fought Ngannou. He's fought all these guys and took a beating. We know how that is. His fucking boxing hasn't got that good. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to see that shit.
That brings up an interesting question. Now that Cain Velasquez knocked the juice out of JDS twice, you got to wonder how that fight would look now. Because if it's the JDS that fought Stipe Miocic, Frank Mir might be able to redeem himself against that JDS.
Nah.
Or, you know what I was... I'm sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I still think he gets slayed. I think Stipe Miocic is a young beast, and Junior's lost a little bit, but I still think Frank. I mean, like we said, he beat a fucking a sick old man in Bigfoot. Like, I don't want to take anything away from him. He deserves his win, but I still don't think that Frank has anything for anybody in the top 7 to 9.
Yeah.
Okay, what about and this is what I was thinking earlier, because Arlovsky already got a fight, and he was turning down Matt Mitrione repeatedly. What about Matt Mitrione for Frank Mir?
Ooh, man, Matt hits so hard.
Right, but at the same time,
Mitrione is a fucking beaster, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of a goofball, and he don't look like an athlete, but when you, like, talk to people in his camp, how hard he works and how athletic he actually is, and it looks like Mitrione might be coming into his own, man. I think that's kind of like what Fred brought up. He's young, and he hits hard as fuck. So that might be one of those fights where it's kind of like sad to see Frank get hit that hard.
Well, here's the deal. If Frank actually thinks, I mean, listen, he can do whatever he wants. He's a grown man. He's a Hall of Famer. If he wants to try to go on another title run, then okay, give him Matt Mitrione and see if he can actually do it. I personally think that Frank should have retired. Now, he's probably going to fight some more, but how many does he really got left? 1, maybe 2 if he fuck around and pulls another rabbit out of his hat and gets another win. So if you only got 1 or 2 fights left, pull a fucking Anderson Silva short of the fucking steroids. Take a super fight, man. Take a Rampage. Fuck it. Let Rampage and Frank Mir fight at heavyweight. Do something fucking weird and fun or something. I mean, Frank Mir doesn't need to be – he's not a contender. He's kind of out of that race, at least in my opinion, I would think. If he wants to fight, let him fight, but do fun fights at this point. You know what I'm saying?
I think that Brock Lesnar fight would be the one if he did. If he was gonna do one more fight, do that Brock Lesnar fight, finish a trilogy, make a shit ton of money, because that would sell like a motherfucker. And then go off right into the sunset with a big fat wallet. You'd be all right. So I mean, that's just what I think about it. But,
Metamoris.
Oh, dude, imagine Metamoris. I was gonna say put him against a heavyweight like Josh Barnett, but they would probably fuck around and bring Schaub back, so Schaub could run away the entire fucking time.
Oh yeah, Eddie, you're the resident internet guy. Could you bring up the heavyweight rankings, because Josh Barnett is number 6? Is that right?
Oh really?
Is it?
Find out.
That's what I thought I saw when they did the heavyweight rankings, that Josh Barnett was 6, because I remember tweeting, how the fuck is Josh Barnett number 6?
Who did he beat last to heavyweight?
When the fuck has he fought last?
Here it is. Josh Barnett is number 6. No kidding.
Okay, see now, is that a what the fuck to either of you guys?
Who did he beat last? Frank Mir?
Who did he beat last?
I think it was Frank fucking Mir, Jack.
Very probably. Let me find out. Hold up, Josh Barnett. Mir. I mean, okay, so it's coming up right now. Josh Barnett last defeated Travis Brown. No, he lost to Travis Brown. He beat Frank Mir. You're right. 2013 August.
All right, but that's what I'm saying. That's how shallow. That's why I think like people are like, yeah, another title run. Because I mean, seriously, if you look at it logistically, the heavyweight division is about 6 people deep. I mean, honestly, and you only usually have to beat 1 or 2 of those guys to get a title shot at heavyweight, because they'll throw anybody now at the champion at heavyweight because there's nobody in that division. I'm not saying it's a good idea. Yeah. I'm just saying, okay, I'm just comparing oranges and apples. Like, a title run at 170 is not the same as a title run at heavyweight. You only have to put on 2 good performances at heavyweight and you got a title shot. You have to beat fucking world killers at 155 and 170 to get that title slot. So I mean, you know, it's not out of the realm of like crazy UFC possibility.
I mean, let's look at the top 5 heavyweights in the UFC. Obviously, champion Cain Velasquez, but number 1 Fabricio Verdum. Then JDS is still number 2. Travis Brown number 3. Stipe Miocic is number 4. Mark Hunt is number 5. And then rounding out the 10 is Josh Barnett at 6. Arlovsky at 7. Roy Nelson at 8. And Alistair Overeem at 9. Number 10 is Ben Rothwell. So.
And that makes my fucking case 100%.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Well, speaking of, anything else you guys want to bring up about this card anymore on this fight night?
Nothing except for it segues perfectly. Those elbows to the side of Bigfoot Silva's head segues perfectly into the Josh Neer video.
Yeah, absolutely. For those that haven't seen it yet, just go on Twitter and type in Josh Neer, and you will find a million tweets with copies of the link of the fucking video where Josh Neer is beating the shit out of a dude at his, I don't know what the name of the gym is. I've heard rumors of the name is Golden Glory or something like that is the name of the gym. Don't quote me on that because I don't know 100%. I don't know where Josh Neer trains, but I did see the shit out of that video like 20 times. Those elbows are fucking mean. And at the end, when they're pulling him off the guy, he fucking kicks him in the face. Like soccer kicks almost. No, it was a soccer kick. What the fuck? That's what I said when I saw it. And then the backstory, just to throw it out there real quick. The backstory is that this guy was shit talking to him on social media, and Josh Neer said, "Oh, come to my gym, let's fight." So according to Josh Neer, this guy shows up like 40 minutes into his training session, Neer's training session, and Neer offers him a bigger guy. This Martins, I forgot his first name, but his last name was like Martins or something like that, and offers him a bigger guy. And of course he turns down the bigger guy and takes on Neer. And then, we see the video, and a lot of people are saying, well, this guy was talking a lot of shit, and he was talking a lot of shit to Neer, let's be honest about that. And then Neer beat the fuck out of him. So, Fred, knowing the backstory and seeing the video, what do you think of this whole thing?
Fuck, man, where to start? I mean, when you first see the video, man, he is fucking welling on homeboy. So you watch the video and you're kind of like, Jesus Christ, Neer, lay the fuck off. Like, the first time I had seen the video, I didn't know the backstory. That dude had been talking shit, and then he came down there on his own 2 fucking legs and said, "Come on, let's go." So at that point, it's kind of like, yeah, you want your fucking ass whooping, Jack? Here you go. What the fuck, motherfucker? But that being said, too, listen, I don't know exactly how all this shit works, but I'm pretty sure here in the United States of America, you're not allowed to hold somebody down and elbow them in the face over and over again. So unless homeboy signed a waiver saying that Josh Neer, a fucking professional fighter, can beat the shit out of him, maybe Josh Neer gets sued. I mean, what the fuck's going on? I don't know. The story sounds like the dude deserves it. If you run your mouth to a professional fighter and then you go down to the gym and say, let's fight, and then you get your fucking ass whooped, I suppose you shouldn't be startled. But that's not legal, right? Like, even if, if I'm out at a bar and some dude grabs my old lady's ass, yeah, I want to break his fucking jaw. But sure as shit, if I punch him in the face and break his jaw, the police will come take me to jail, or at the very least, he can fucking sue me, and it doesn't matter that he touched my woman's ass. So, like, these, there's fucking laws and shit, man. So I don't know. He might get in trouble for this shit, right?
You know what? When I first saw the video, the first thing I said was, that looks like fucking assault to me. Especially once those 2 guys pull Neer off of him, and he still throws in a soccer kick, lands square on the dude's face. I immediately thought assault. Aaron, you've seen the video. What do you think of that shit?
All right, there's a couple of things, right? Like, we call this show Keyboard Warriors, but that's a euphemism for us because we're analysts. Mm-hmm. But there are guys out there that will talk, like, you guys have all seen the Facebook post where a fighter will respond to some mess that some dick licker put up on his Facebook page, and it'll go back and forth, and I'll fuck you up and this and that. So, okay, there's a couple of variables in this shit. First off, Duder had the nutsack to show up at Mir's gym, because most of these fuckers, I think they talk a big game, but they don't got the fucking testicular fortitude to actually walk through the doors. So there's fucking asshole's first mistake. Now, do I think that this guy deserved a fucking starching? For sure. But a starching with fucking sparring gloves on, humble him. Make him put on headgear, keep it standing, and then just knock him out on the feet. You know what I mean? Just make him look like a fool. I think what happened was, there's no arguing that Josh Neer is a tough guy. Like, we've watched him fight for years. Huge open cuts on his face, and no problem. Took out Melvin Gillard with a fucking gash, the size of most people's mouths on his head. You know what I mean? The guy is all about toughness, so this guy must not have done his homework before he started saying Neer was a piece of shit fighter, because I'll tell you what, Josh Neer is a tough guy. He's one of the guys that, he's a fighter. He might be a professional fighter, but this dude is a fighter. So, okay, you made a bad mistake showing up that day. Now, that's pretty much where I believe his culpability ends. He shouldn't have been talking mess, and he should have never showed up at the gym. Now, on Josh Neer's part, once you beat a guy that has zero skills, there's no pride in beating him any further. He's already embarrassed. He looks stupid. So you get him down, you slap him around a little bit and humble him, and then B, who the fuck was running video?
Yeah, right? Who was the one that was videotaping this whole shit? And then Josh Neer decides to post it on YouTube. I mean,
yeah,
he should have thought about that.
That shit disappeared real quick, and my point's not done. Who the fuck's running video? Who allowed that shit? Like, did Josh think that was a good idea? Like, yeah, video this shit, because I'm going to put it up on YouTube for my mom. And then the amount of alarm on those two coaches' faces when they pulled Neer off, that tells the entire story. Because they were cool with it for a minute, and then they heard thump, 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 those fucking elbows dropping, and those guys were way across the gym, and they were like, holy fuck, this shit just got real. We better pull this asshole off of him. You know what I mean? Because not only culpability on Josh Neer, culpability on that fucking establishment for letting that shit go down. You know what I mean? Because just like Fred said, man, if you didn't sign a waiver, every fucking wrestling match I've ever had, every single Muay Thai gym I've gone to, or fucking BJJ, that's the first thing what's this shit?
That's the guy.
Oh, man, that's the shit, man. They hand you that waiver real quick because this boy took a fucking full-on street beating. So I think there's culpability on both sides. And what Fred said, yeah, man, I think there could be repercussions for not only Neer, but the gym.
No, but check out this headline, dude. This is thanks to I think MMA Mania. Josh Neer gym video victim Patrick Martin claims he was blindsided and beat down after the bell.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, it says he tells his side of the story. Apparently this guy talked to MMAfighting.com. So he says, we had a 3-minute sparring round that he couldn't score or take me down. He threw wild punches. I dodged and countered, and with my 16-ounce gloves, I did all the punching, also mixed in a couple kicks in. Everything you see is after the round bell sounded. As I turned away from him, picking up my mouthpiece, I dropped after the round. He's adding all this talk that I talk shit about MMA fighters when I talk shit to him. After disrespecting me about a wrestling drill I was tired in. So I left it alone until I saw him out and bought him a couple beers. Then he walked up kind of talking shit. What the hell? This guy's fucking...
Good job, MMA Mania. He walked up. I love it.
Okay, so talking shit to his buddy about me. So I blew up on him on Facebook demanding a full contact spar. I said I'll bring 16 ounces. So the beef is with him and a couple of other couple other of his gym's fighter who was talking shit on my page. I'm not scared of fucking Josh Neer nor any man. He don't want to show a full video, so I'll let him think he won. I seen his game plan fighting me, and that's not gonna work. Dude, look, it doesn't matter.
Wait, real quick. He said he'll bring 16 ounce. So
he did 16 ounce gloves.
Yeah, well, it could have been a 16 ounce steak. What the fuck, MMA? MMA Mania or whoever wrote that shit, man. You need spell checker and somebody else reading your shit because he didn't walk up and he didn't bring 16 ounce.
Hey, the only reason I think it wasn't spell checks is that maybe this motherfucker is the only one that typed it up or whatever. But regardless.
That was a fan post.
Yeah, right.
Blindsided or not, he got that ass whooped, Jack. he can,
Yeah,
he can say whatever he wants. I saw the video too, and he was on the ground getting elbowed in the fucking face. So unless he got jumped by a gang of Crips, he got fucking whooped. Fuck.
You know, and you talk all that fucking mess, and then you look like a fool. But anybody who knows anything about being in a gym, let me tell you what, that wasn't after the bell, and he wasn't picking up his mouthpiece. That was Josh Neer pushing him up against the wall, hitting him in the guts till he bent over like a fucking piece of shit, and then whipping his ass like a stepchild. That's exactly what that was. So that boy can go fucking talk to MMA Mania or whoever he wants to. But I tell you what. If I get my ass beat after talking that much mess to a pro fighter, you know what I say afterwards? Fucking nothing. Ever again. Anybody.
Okay,
because you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. I mean, look, here's my theory on it. When I first saw this shit, my first thought was these two idiots are going to try and get enough beef going on the internet to get, like, some fucking promotion to sign them both to fight. Anyone think that shit?
Doesn't Neer fight for somebody? Doesn't he fight for Bellator or a lower organization now as it is?
I don't think so. I mean, let me go look at when his last fight was.
I saw Josh Neer fight not that long ago.
Neer still has a little bit of star power left. I mean, he's not on Tank Abbott status. Tank Abbott is so far gone. Listen, man, this is no bullshit. This is no bullshit, dog. I stay in a pretty small fucking city in Ohio. Tank Abbott took a fight in a backyard, Kimbo Slice style, off of a fucking hick street named Dixie in my city. And there's a film of it somewhere on YouTube. He fought this other fucking old school biker, and it's the most hideous thing you ever want to see. It's like a fucking outlaw biker party went wrong, and after they got drunk, they decided to start in with the fisticuffs. It was horrible.
You know what I was really surprised at was Brendan Vera was actually there. He is right there.
I did not think that was real.
That's what he looked like.
Fucking real. That's him.
Yeah, man, for sure. Brendan Vera was actually on his Twitter feed, and Brendan Vera fights for ONE FC, and he was kind of like repping Josh Neer for doing what he did. And I actually think that Josh Neer is like the perfect kind of guy for ONE FC. Go overseas where there's a little less rules, and you can be a tough guy and be soccer kicking in the face and kneeing in the head in the north-south position and shit like that. If you're kind of tough like that and you're a scrapper, man, you need to be over in Asia doing your shit.
And he should, definitely. But look, man, bottom line for this Martin kid, or dude, whatever, he's gonna look bad because the only video out there is of him getting his shit kicked out of him. So he can talk all the shit he wants to, but it doesn't matter. The world saw you get your ass handed to you. You should just shut the fuck up and move on and never fight again. In fact, stop training. Go be a cook or something because you ain't got no future in this shit. If Josh Neer beat the fuck out of you, and Josh Neer actually fights for Bellator, so whoever said that called it.
Okay.
Whoever said it? There's only 3 guys on the show, asswipe.
I lost track, all right? Fuckhead, it's fucking. I'm tired. I'm just saying, I lost track. I think it was you. I don't know.
You know, okay, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say on this stupidity. You guys remember the Chappelle show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This Martin's kid is the result of keeping it real.
When MMA fighters keep it real, or whatever.
Exactly, man. He should have never shown up.
That'd be a perfect episode of that. Should be great.
For real.
So yeah, this guy's an idiot. What are you gonna do? Anyway, moving on. A few announced fights they announced them this week. At UFC 188 in Mexico, of course, we got Cain Velasquez against Fabricio Verdum for unifying the belts. More exciting, in my opinion, is Gilbert Melendez taking on Eddie Alvarez. I mean, they announced that fight. That fight's been not in the making, but they were supposed to have happened a long time ago, apparently. And now it finally goes down. What did you guys think of this matchup?
Man, I hate fights that have a long lead up because they always turn out disappointing. And I think that's what's going to happen with this one. We've wanted to watch it for so long, and I think that they're so different stylistically. I don't know, man. I hope it's fireworks, but I wouldn't put money on it.
You know what? Someone should tell Pacquiao and Mayweather about that lead-up shit because it's been 5 goddamn years and we finally get that shit fight, and I'm not even excited about it. But all these boxing fucking purists are like, oh, because you don't understand boxing. No, it's because you're fucking 60 years old, you fuck. But
Yeah, man, that fight's gonna go 12 rounds. Floyd Mayweather's gonna win by defense, just like he always does, because he's
yeah,
faster. It's gonna, and there's what the pay-per-view is like $95 or something.
I'm not paying that shit. No way.
I pay for every card. I will be paying the same way. I will be paying the same way for that fight as I pay for every UFC card.
Me too, sir. Me too. But back to Eddie Alvarez against Gilbert Melendez. I think any fight with Melendez in is actually pretty fucking exciting. And then Eddie Alvarez kind of manufactured a beef with Melendez. I don't think there's much of a beef there. I think they both respect each other for the most part. But Alvarez recently did an interview saying that, oh, well, Melendez was talking shit on me. I hope I get that fight. Well, now he's got that fight, and it's in Mexico. So, Fred, what do you think of this matchup, dude?
Quickly before I get on that, I just want to say on the whole Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather thing,
Yeah.
all the boxing fans should rejoice and join a fucking cult and jump off a cliff after this fight, because after this fight, boxing is fucking dead. It's been on CPR for like 5 years, and after this, Jack, do not resuscitate. This is it. The last hurrah. Now,
Actually.
on the Eddie Alvarez and Gilbert Melendez, I think it'll be a good fight, right? I don't know if it'll be. I think it'll get more hype than it deserves. I don't think it's going to be a fucking fantastic barn burner of a fight, but it should be a good fight. It should be a good fight. I don't think, like you said, I don't think the heat is real between them two. I think it's a bit more put on. But me personally, I am still kind of really excited for the Kane and Verdum fight, man. I mean, even though Kane only fights fucking once every millennia, he's still the fucking baddest man on the planet, man. I'm really intrigued to see what he looks like, and I want this fucking heavyweight division to find some stability, man. I want to find where's the heavyweight Conor McGregor? You know what I mean, man? Somebody to come out, be active, and fucking yap that mouth off. Kane is great, but he either needs to fight more or talk more. But him not fighting and not talking and just fucking hanging out in Mexico and sipping margaritas and banging senoritas isn't going to do it for me. I need something from him, man. I need him to perform. So I can't wait to see Kane perform, man.
I think Fred in a previous life must have been a rapper, because that fucking flowed way too good right there.
Yeah, that was some freestyle shit. Hey, talking about the heavyweight McGregor, let's talk about the featherweight McGregor. Did you see his epic fail trying to jump up on that log?
Oh, dude,
Oh,
I
no.
thought he was fucking around. Apparently, he really couldn't do it.
No, man, you saw him. He's like one leg up and he looks over like, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing? And then he tries it again and he can't do it. It's one of those things, man. It fucking ruins the mystique, because every time they videotape that cat doing something, he's smooth, man. The capoeira, he's smooth. He's smooth with his stance. He's smooth with his boxing. And then he's like, derp. And looks over. Derp. It's like, oh, fuck. Now you are fallible, Jack. I'm waiting for you to get your shit knocked out in your next fight now.
Jose,
Hey. I haven't seen that shit, and I ain't watching it. You ain't ruining this for me, man. Fuck that. I haven't seen that video. He's still infallible.
You know you're full of shit. You know that you're gonna go watch it now, because I planted that seed in the man bun, and that fucker's gonna straight down into your brain. You won't be able to help yourself, man. It's like, what is that old video? Fucking two girls in a cup or some shit that everybody's like, I don't want to see that mess, and then everybody's fucking searching to see.
First thing they do.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly on what Fred said, man. Either Kane has got to decide that he can be healthy and fight like every 6 months and start rejuvenating this heavyweight title, or maybe some crazy how Fabricio Verdum unifies, which, to me, if that happens, I don't want to see any more heavyweight fights until somebody dethrones him, because I have a really hard time with his fighting style. And I also think, man, in his last 2 fights, and people can hate me, and they probably will for this, but man, I'm a doctor. I know what to look for when people are fucking around. In his last 2 fights, acne on his chest, acne on his back, way bigger than he was, and way more durable than he's ever been, way more aggressive than he's ever been. And if you put that algebraic formula together, man, that smells like PEDs to me. That's why he's doing as well as he is.
That was one of the first things I said about Bigfoot Silva. I was like, look at the back knee on that guy. And I thought for sure he was gonna piss hot. We haven't gotten back the results of the post-fight test yet, but with Bigfoot, I saw that. But
you think they'll even bother? I mean, it's over in Brazil and he lost. Do you think they'll even bother?
You know what? You're right. It's in Brazil. They're not gonna bother. You're right.
Is it just me, or does it seem like this whole steroid with Brazilian thing is a new thing? Are the Brazilians? It didn't seem like I remember Brazilians testing positive for steroids this often back in the day. Or
here's the thing, man. Like I'm guessing, and I can't say for sure because I haven't visited Rio de Janeiro in 38 years. But I'm guessing it's probably a little less restricted there. Like here, man, I don't think it's all that easy to get for even pro athletes. Like, you still got to be in a certain circle. I'm guessing over there, I mean, there's only like 3 things you can do in Brazil. Well, unless you're a woman, then you can model as well. But I mean, and don't go there, Kirby. I saw you smiling. You can either play soccer, you can fight MMA, or you can deal drugs. And I mean, that's straight out of the horse's mouth over there from Brazilians. So I have to imagine that maybe it's just more part of their culture than it is ours. And that being said, that's completely fucking speculation. And any Brazilian who hears this show, I'm very sorry if I'm wrong.
Please don't come shake me while I'm on the treadmill. Just leave me alone.
Please don't fucking Josh near my ass. In
the fucking grocery store, just some dude wailing on Aaron just in the fucking bread aisle, like, motherfucker.
Yeah. Just all of a sudden you see Vitor
into my face. Holy fuck.
Fucking Jesus, bro. Fucking Jesus, bro.
Yeah.
Side,
you see Vitor's like, Jesus, tell me you say I take steroids, bro.
Why are you ducking me, Aaron?
But I don't. Like, I gotta tell you, man. There's the old school guys. Like, all right, you guys been watching this probably maybe as long as I have, but you'd be little kids if that was the case, because I got like 8-9 years on you guys. But when Vitor Belfort was 19 or 20, that dude was stacked and jacked. So, I mean, and that was back in the days where, I mean, these fuckers were on meth. They were on fucking, I mean, that's not a lie, dude. I watched a documentary on fucking fighters that are all jacked up on steroids and meth. That shit is for real, man. These guys just...
Meth?
Yeah, dude, that ultra aggression, that's no bullshit. As a matter of fact, you might be able to find this shit. No, this is no bullshit. You know that show, is it called Addicted?
Yeah, I think so.
It's one of them documentary shows that was like on A&E or like Court TV or something like that. And it was an ex-UFC fighter, and he was mainlining fucking rock. And he talked about that's how he got started in it, is he was an MMA fighter, and he was pretty open and honest about it, man, is that these guys would get jacked up on amphetamines, and that's why you see that fucking wild-ass aggression. Now, I'm not saying that's what Vitor Belfort did, or any guys in the UFC, but I'm just saying there was a subset back in the day where that wasn't unheard of. But I think a lot of these guys where you see, like, there's been a huge changing of the guard. And Vitor Belfort is kind of a throwback to a day that's no longer here. I mean, because that boy started when he was 19.
Yeah.
I'm saying I would rather fight you with a motherfucking shotgun than on steroids and methamphetamines. Can you imagine Vitor Belfort doing a line of meth and all roided out? He'd fucking kill you.
You could try running away, he'd probably catch you. Shit.
That's like fighting a silverback gorilla.
For real, what the fuck?
No, that's no bullshit, man. If you guys can find that, check out that episode. And I can't remember because I'm trying to think of what it is, but I think the show it was a popular show.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, man, Addiction or Addicted or something like that. And one of the guys, it was actually a fighter that you may have heard of.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, it's just I don't think drugs are anything new to the sport.
No.
And just like we discussed over at the Hammer, or no, we discussed this last night on my show, Fred. Just because they lay down these 2 to 4 year suspensions, I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to disappear real quick. I think people are going to try to get more crafty, is what I think is going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So all you have to do to have something not be detectable is change 1 or 2 little fucking details on a drug, and all of a sudden you can get away with it for the most part.
Yep.
So I mean, this is kind of what it is.
Hey Eddie, after this show goes live, how much do you edit it?
The video, none. The audio, depending on what went on.
I was gonna say you should just cut me completely out of this show. I've gone completely off the rails.
It's all good, man. That's what we love about you. Anyway, but all right, and then other fights that were announced for this card is Tisha Torres against Angela Hill. And Angela Hill's a kickboxing chick, but she's, in my opinion, not that impressive. Tisha should be able to run through her. And then Augusto Montaño against Cathal Pendred. If that's a fight that I'm looking forward to, I'm lying because I'm not really at all. So, but overall, this card, is starting to shape up to be pretty good in Mexico. And people keep asking me because they're fucking, racist. I guess. No, I'm not racist, but they're like, are you gonna go home for this one? I'm like, you son of a bitch. No. No one should go to Mexico City. I'll be the first one to tell you that shit. Even Mexicans don't want to be in Mexico City. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
All right, that was some. I was really surprised to see that Cathal Pendred got a fight again so quickly, and I'm also kind of surprised that I didn't see against Covington. Man,
Yeah.
Colby Covington is a fucking mess, and it's been working for a lot of guys. Like if you keep a hold of Twitter like we do, a lot of times guys will get a beef going, and that actually leads to something. But I guess Colby Covington just was like, nah, sorry, you don't got enough star power. The one that I'm really surprised at is Angela Hill and Tisha Torres. That one, to me, I don't know about you guys, but that one to me is just a confusing matchup.
They're setting up Angela Hill to get destroyed, man.
I don't know, man. Did you see her in her debut? She was tough.
She was tough, but she wasn't. I just don't think she's tough enough to beat Tisha Torres. Torres has just so much experience, and the chick's just way crazier. I think she has more skill set. That being said, of course, it's an MMA fight, and the cliche we always say is anything could happen. But unless Angela Hill, somehow made up a ground game out of nowhere, Tisha Torres is going to take her down and ground and pound her ass.
See, for me though, Tisha Torres is one of those weird things where I think in the division she's ranked wrong.
Yeah.
Because I actually think that she should be like right up there top 3.
Let's see.
See, but I mean, listen, the fuckers over at the UFC know what they're doing, man. Maybe they see something in Angela Hill. If Angela Hill can keep this fight standing, Angela Hill all of a sudden has a noted advantage, and she might fuck Tisha Torres up if she can keep the fight standing. But I don't think that she's completely out of her water. I think the fight hinges on her staying upright. If she can stay upright, it's a very competitive fight.
Now, Tisha Torres is the one that took on Magana, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now Magana is pretty much. I don't know if you guys saw that Your Majesty shit and like that, but after she got beat up, man, she kind of fell off the rankings and off the side of the planet along with Beck Rawlings. But I don't know, man. Everything that I saw on Tough 20 and everything that I've seen out of Tisha Torres and her experience, and especially her camp down there, American Top Team down in Coconut Creek. Whew, man, I don't know. I don't know why she's fighting Angela Hill. It seems like, to me, this Johanna, I can't say her last name.
No one can, dude. I can barely spell it.
Right.
Jadrick or whatever it is. To me, that was kind of like a left field wild card. Like, okay, she makes her debut in the UFC, and then her next fight is a title fight. Like, what the hell don't I know about this broad? Because that was the same thing I said about Anderson Silva when he fucking destroyed what's his name there?
Rich Franklin.
Forrest?
No, his first fight, man. His first fight.
Chris Lieben.
Lieben. Yeah, Chris Lieben's talking all this mess about I'm going to show him how American fighters are, and then everybody's eyes were open. It was like, holy shit. And then his very next fight, but if you listen to Joe Rogan and the commentators, they're like, oh yeah, Anderson Silva, he is a whole different beast. And we had never seen him really on the American scene, but they already knew what was happening. So I'm kind of wondering if there's something about this Johanna woman that I just like under the scenes that they know that I don't know.
Well, her striking's really fucking top notch. She's a lot of fun to watch. So maybe that might be the reason right there. But Tisha Torres ranked number 5. Angela Hill ranked number 13th, and just for fun, Beck Rawlings still ranked number 15. So
awesome.
All right, see, because we don't. I guess it's just like Fred and I have talked about this. Eddie, you and I have talked about this. Mm-hmm. It's the talent pool. Like, how often do you see a man ranked 13 getting number 5 in their division?
Never.
That's why the fight's confusing to me.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
True.
So, real quick on Twitter, my buddy Andrew Reed says, now that they are clamping down on PEDs, watch Alistair Overeem shrink like a penis in an ice bath. Um, is Alistair Overeem still on the juice?
Is that actually a question?
That's my
Yeah,
question. Oh, look, hey, I'm just asking. The dude shrunk a little bit so far.
who cares? If he is, he shouldn't be. He'll get caught eventually, and if he's not, he'll probably start fucking. His performance will deteriorate pretty rapidly, I would
You
suppose.
know who should care though? Who should care is fucking Roy Nelson, because Roy Nelson's not that tall and he's perfect fucking size to eat knees to the fucking face.
Dude, was it? I think it was you, Eddie, that put that Roy Nelson tested positive for KFC.
I think I retweeted that shit, but yes, it was fucking funny.
That's awesome. But you know what? I just want to put one thing. Like we all do our thing. Like you do a podcast, Fred. You've been on my podcast. You do Gem City Fighting. Man, I'm so fucking sick of PED talk, man. I cannot do another show mentioning this shit. It's here, okay? We get it. A lot of fuckers are juicing. Hopefully shit comes down the pipe real soon that puts a squash on that. But please, MMA gods, MMA world, send me some juicy tidbits in the next few days to talk about in my news segment besides everybody using performance-enhancing drugs. Because, I mean, honestly, that is a dead horse that I don't want to beat anymore.
You know,
Yeah, no, I hear you.
like you said, man, there's nothing that's going to change that. That's one of those things. It's like shitty politicians and wars about religion. No matter how fucked up they are, and no matter how all of us realize how bad it is, nothing's going to change it. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of mentioned last night with the murder policies. Look at a place like Texas. They will fucking, if you kill somebody in Texas, they will kill you back, Jack. They fucking love putting people on death row in Texas. Like, and do you think that Texas has a deterred murder rate because of that?
No.
Go to Houston and talk some shit and watch somebody snuff you out fast as pie, knowing that they're going to death row for doing it. It doesn't matter, man. So you could hand out lifetime bans for first time offenses, and you'd still have cute little fuckers thinking they're going to be the smart one and get away with it, man. I mean, I guess you gotta penalize it, but you'll never stop it.
You know, because Eddie made a perfect point, man. What we're gonna see is like, okay, like Mike Dolce is the diet wizard. What's gonna happen with these more staunch punishments is we're gonna see under the scenes, we're gonna start seeing chemical wizards, where it's like you're well known that we're gonna let you get away with it for a certain amount of weeks. I got a way to get you off it quick. I got a way to get it out of your system quick. You know, it's going to be a problem, and honestly, I think it's going to be a problem forever. I think that there's going to be this big fire, and I think a lot of it has to do with Anderson Silva because everybody was like, "What, Anderson Silva?" And I think that's why it's coming up because there's been piss test hot before, and when somebody like Hermes Franca pops hot for steroids, everybody's like, "All right, who gives a shit? The sky's blue. Who cares?" When Anderson Silva pops hot, then people all of a sudden is like, "No, this is outrageous and blasphemous, and we must do something." So, you know, I just think I think it's just the matter of being naive, man. It's professional sports. You find me a professional sport where they're not doing some sort of performance enhancing, and I don't know, man. I'll show you a unicorn.
Right.
Someone's actually gonna get to work on that watch. I want to see a goddamn unicorn. Fucking. All right, so I'm with you on that though. I'm really, really tired of the PED talk, and unfortunately, it's gonna go on until we find out the punishment. Okay, it's gonna go on until forever. Actually, you're right. You're fucking right. It's here to stay. That's just not going anywhere. You're just gonna get the guys that can afford to have fucking chemists and shit doing more, working better designs on steroids and other drugs that will leave them, undetectable or make it harder to detect or easier to get out of your body, whatever. It's just gonna be one of those things where the sport's gonna be like a step behind the best juicers in the game, right? Just like Lance Armstrong got away with it for so long, he was just a better juicer than all the other juicers that were fucking cycling on fucking bikes up a goddamn mountain, which by the way is the dumbest fucking sport ever invented besides NASCAR. And I don't give a shit if one of you's a NASCAR fan. but turning left 100,000 times does not constitute a sport. Okay. Just
I
saying.
hate NASCAR, so we're good on that.
Yeah, I was gonna say who's a racist now? Just because we're both white doesn't mean we like NASCAR.
I gotta get my jabs in, sir. I gotta get my jabs in. Anyway, so and speaking of Texas, they actually they just the guy that shot the American Sniper guy, he just got convicted. He's guilty. So they might put his ass on fucking death row. You never know.
Hey, they're killing him, Jack. If you get convicted of some shit like that in Texas, you're fucked.
Yeah. So that's the thing now. So all right, we've gone. It's actually kind of late for all of us here now. So unless you guys got anything else you want to bring up, I guess we're gonna wrap it up for the night.
No, man, I'm good.
Yep. We can call it a wrap.
Perfect. Go ahead and follow Fred Kirby at Kirby_MMA with Gem City Fighting on Twitter. And, of course, make sure you check out every episode of Stan Bang Radio at Stan and Bang Radio. It's Aaron Robbins' last episode with one Fred Kirby and Eddie Gordon. And what I was told before, definitely looking forward to this episode, fellas. I'll be downloading that thing. Actually, it's probably already downloaded on my iTunes if it's on there yet or already, and I'll have it on my iPod tomorrow. So unless you guys got anything else to go with, we're going to say good night.
Good night.
Later,
Good night,
guys.
fellas. Later, guys.